relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. And every day I affirm and pray that I'm blessed with everything I have. I release my fear, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am safe. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I am well, I am well, I am well. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let go that I have all I'll ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I am well, I am well, I am well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I am well, I am well. All is well, all is well. I am well. Ooh-wee.
Well, good morning, Unity of London. And I welcome everyone who's there at 501 Nelson Street. I hope that you're having a great day and that, as the song said, you can just release and surrender, be fully present right here, right now. We also welcome all of the people online. And I'd especially like to welcome a few people that we haven't seen in a while, Anna and Claudette and Peter Foy, although Peter's sort of been in and out, but welcome, Claudette. It's really nice to see you. And we also welcome anyone who may be watching online or will watch this at a later time. So Unity of London, as most unities, have a vision. And our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening, powerfully transformed. And how do we do that? Well, we have a mission, and that is co-creating with spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. So we are co-creating with spirit. And what does that mean? How can we do that? Well, we can do that by being a loving, inclusive, supportive community. And so that means that we participate. We care about the people that we are around, and we support them however we can. We also do that by promoting self-expression. And what that means is that we express our God self, our divine spirit, so that people know who we are, that we don't hide behind our fears and we don't hide. We promote our own self-expression. We are who we are. We are good. We also promote or do our mission by living the 5 principles. So the first one is God is. So what that means is that there is only one God ever present throughout the world. I am means that we are part of that God divine spirit, that there is that spark of life within us. We create it, I think. So we know that what thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So what that means is that if you're thinking healthy, happy, prosperous thoughts, then that is what we focus on. That is what we create in our life. That is what will show up in our life. And our 4th principle is I pray. So that is how we make connection with that divine spirit, how we remain connected. We pray and meditate on a daily basis. And prayer doesn't have to be long and involved. Sometimes when things, just a pleasant little thing, serendipitous thing happens. Maybe we run into a person that we haven't seen in a long time, and we are really happy to see them. Our prayer can be as simple as, thank you for having that person show up in my life. And then the 5th principle is I live. It's important that we not only know what our 5 principles are, but that we live them in the world to create a world that is just a fabulous place to be. And we also fulfill our vision by inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world. And that can be so simple as well. It could be smiling at someone, just meeting their eyes, acknowledging who they are, just reaching out to inspire people. And then, of course, the other way that we live our vision is providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. So our doors are open. We coexist with other people, with other religions. And we do provide that fellowship and education, whether it's at 501 Nelson Street, whether it's online, wherever it is. Okay, so we have a few announcements this morning. So Wendy Carr is offering an Advent 2022 discussion group, and that's Wednesdays, November 23rd. So that's going to be starting this Wednesday right through to December 21st. And as it says on the slide, the Zoom links will be sent out weekly. So please email courses@unitylondon.org to be put on the distribution list for this series. So this is going to be just a wonderful opportunity to really take Advent into your heart. And as the booklet says, the theme is a Christmas of light and peace. Oh, now there was another announcement as well, which I'm really excited to tell you about. The last few weeks, we have been focusing on putting together baskets to go out to people who may need them in the community, and that is our Indwell project. So people have been donating funds to that. Other busy little owls have been making purchases and putting the baskets together. So I'm pleased to announce that we have reached our goal of 10 baskets, and they are being packed as we speak and will go out to the community very soon. So congratulations to everyone who participated in that outreach program. So today's prayer chaplains are Pauline at 501 Nelson Street, and I will do online at Zoom. So if you are on Zoom and you'd like prayer, just put your name into the chat and we'll pray. Oh. So too, while, as we all know, or most of us know anyway, unity was formed on prayer. And so for over 130 years, people have been praying with and for people throughout the world. And speaking of prayers, we do have our prayer meetings every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. So the Zoom link that you can contact that group with gets mailed out to you. And if you don't have that link, please let Pauline know about that, and we can make sure that you have that link. So there are prayer chaplains on Zoom every morning, as I said, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. So please feel free to join us with that. And of course, if you can't make our 9 o'clock prayer times, then always know that you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they will pray with you. We also, at the front of the sanctuary, for those of you at Unity of London in person, there is the prayer box. So there are some little papers beside that prayer box. So if you like, you can just put the name of the person that you are requesting prayer for on that piece of paper, and that will be prayed over 30 days at Unity of London, and then will be forwarded to Unity worldwide so that it can be prayed on there as well. And so let us go into prayer. So if you'd like, just please close your eyes, relax even deeper into your chair. Let's just set aside all of the busyness of the morning and just be fully present for this prayer time. And so this morning we bless everyone attending all spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. And today we especially hold in prayer all of the people that Mother Nature has dumped snow on this week, up over 5 feet in some areas. So we pray that they are safe, that they are warm, that they are fed, that they have water, that they are healthy. And we also give thanks for all of the people who are helping out in this situation, trying to clear roads, trying to get people to hospitals if there are emergencies. So we bless everyone that is doing their best with all of this snow. And we also continue to hold peace for every situation in the world, praying that calm minds and loving hearts will prevail. We lift up anyone who is experiencing any challenges, knowing that they have the strength and the love of the divine spirit surrounding them right now. We take this opportunity to hold anyone that you wish in blessings and prayer, and to speak their names quietly into this space now. We bless our fellow Unity organizations, Unity Center of Montreal in Montreal, Quebec, and Unity Church of Agape in Scarborough, Ontario. And so as we move forth into this day, we understand and affirm that I am one with all that is, and so it is, And so we let it be. Oh. So today we would like to welcome Peggy Matzer, who will read our daily word, and welcome our very special guest today.
I have to get that little green light. Good morning. Hey, today's word is grace. Grace blesses my life in every way. If I'm feeling overwhelmed or find myself in the midst of conflict, I don't need to struggle. Grace, the ceaseless activity of divine love, is mine to claim. This infinite resource of spirit carries me through even the most challenging circumstances. It is expressing in my life right now. I need not earn grace. It is never withheld. Just as water flows when I turn the tap, saying yes to grace is all I have to do for divine life, love, wisdom, and strength to flow freely to every part of my life. Centered in grace, I am at peace. My thinking is clear, and I possess simple understanding, compassion, and insight. Drawing from this divine gift, I bring harmony and joy to my relationships. I move forward with renewed confidence, energy, and efficiency. He said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. And now it is my great pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, who's driven in from Burlington today, or from Waterdown, correction, near Burlington. Reverend Mary has served in Unity churches in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Mississauga, Ontario. She retired from full-time ministry on December 31st, 2021. Mary is the author of the book, Beyond the Fear of Stuttering, My Journey of Self-Acceptance and Freedom. With her message, The Journey from Fear to Love, please join me in welcoming Reverend Mary Wood.
Well, good morning. It has been a while since I've been in London, and that's what Pauline and I were talking. I don't know when the last time it was, but it was certainly before COVID, let me tell you. So it's really good to be back here again. My journey, first of all, why I'm going to share about this and why this subject is a favorite and a very important one for me. In January 1989, I went to a conference in Toronto put on by Bob Proctor, and it was entitled Born Rich. I thought it was all about making money, honey. I was a single mother at the time, so I was looking for ways. But it was so much more than that. And I still remember sitting in the audience when I heard these words: the mind controls the body. What I think about, I bring about. And of all the thousands of words that were spoken that day, these really hung with me. I remembered them. You see, I had stuttered for about 50 years. My father stuttered and I stutter. I thought it was hereditary. And we never talked about things in our household. So we never talked about stuttering. However, I watched my mother. She made phone calls for my dad. He had his own business. So she ordered stuff he needed for his business. When we went out to eat in a restaurant, she ordered for him. in the restaurant. And I had that stuttering run my life many times. I didn't go to university because I stutter. I'm not going to stand and speak in front of people. Never thought I'd be doing this, let me tell you. And I was a covert stutterer. I was so ashamed of it that I hid it. I had thousands of ways to hide it. My mind was always going, oh, that's so. So these are just some of the many ways that I let stuttering run my life. And on the way home from the conference, even though I didn't know how, I had no idea at all. I just knew that I was going to be shown how to let stuttering go. And then, in 1994, I found my way to Unity Hamilton through Richard Mirage. I don't know if anybody remembers him. And I heard the words of Myrtle Fillmore, one of our co-founders. And she said, as a perfect child of God, I do not inherit sickness. And this thought went through my mind, I'm wondering if stuttering is hereditary after all. Then I read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Once again, I thought it was about money. And in that, he lists the 6 main fears. The first fear is the fear of poverty. And the second fear is the fear of rejection. I didn't have to go any farther than that to realize that this was the fear that ran my life. And I'm thinking, if you want to know what the other 4 fears are, you're going to have to look them up yourself. Yeah. You see, fear keeps us focused on the past or worried about the future. And the fear of rejection is one of the deepest human fears. Why? Because we're biologically wired with the longing to belong. We fear being seen in a critical way. We fear being alone, and we dread change. We've had some experience with that lately, haven't we? So it was important for me to read and understand this from not from a place of fear anymore, but from a new place of awareness, understanding, and maybe just perhaps acceptance. You see, I could never put into words before what my fear was, what it felt like. So here are a couple of definitions of fear that I still work with. F-E-A-R. It's a fantasized experience that appears real. It's in our imagination. We imagine what the fear is going to be. Fear is a state of mind. Fear is a negative thought that we have about ourselves or a situation where our self-esteem or our thinking is not maybe where it could be or should be. And I thought about that on the way up here today. Fear, a fantasized experience appearing real as I drove through some snow. Yeah. And when I read this definition of fear, suddenly this thing that I didn't have a name for before, that was present every day in my life, had a name. So as a name, it didn't seem so formidable or so hopeless anymore. You and I might have another definition of fear, a different definition of fear. Oh dear. But I knew that fear certainly wasn't my friend. And I was also realizing that it was my learning lesson. That was important for me, and it still continues to be some days, let me tell you. I think that fear shows up in everybody's life in one way or another. So I would invite you in your own life to be aware maybe where this fear is happening. Are there certain situations? Are there certain people that bring up this fear? Are there authority figures that do that? Is there a common thread through this whole fear thing? Also, I was talking with Martha Creek last week. I'm involved in one of her classes. Sometimes it is a case, let me tell you. And anyway, sometimes we look like, oh, I shouldn't be experiencing fear. No, we experience it. Let's acknowledge it. Let's say yes to it. Let's learn from it instead of squishing it down. I like that word, squish. But many times we suppress our feelings of fear because we think if we really express who we are, then we're not going to be accepted or loved. And these feelings of fear show up as the same story over and over and over again. So I would invite you to be aware of the stories that you tell. The ones that you tell over and over again, and see if they are fear related in any way. And I invite you to do this not from a place of blame and shame and all that other stuff, but from a place of love and acceptance. My same old stories, they pop up now and then. If I'm in a hurry to get somewhere and the car ain't going as fast, the car in front of me ain't going as fast as I think it should. But that's anger, and under the anger, there's always fear. Because I believe that there's only real two emotions, love and fear. However, I'm grateful that my license plate doesn't read Rev Mary. As I pass them and sometimes give them a signal that I'm not really appreciating. I love it. And then there are times when we know that someone knows more about who we are than we do. And when we feel rejected, who is really rejecting us? Who is really rejecting you and I? And it's only possible for me to feel that someone's rejecting me, not loving me and appreciating me when I don't remember who I am. This is really important, at least it is for me. When I don't remember that I have born a whole and perfect child of God. That's our second basic unity principle. When I'm not connected to my wholeness, I am the one who is rejecting me. And I thought, darn it, I can't blame you anymore for how I'm feeling. Is that important in any kind of a relationship? Because we don't really have any idea of what they think about us. It's our perception of who we think they think we are. I think I'm going to do that one over again for me. It's our perception of who I think you think I am. But it has nothing to do at all with them. What someone thinks about you and I has nothing to do with who we are. But what you and I think about who we are does. It has everything to do with who you think you are. So it's important to see the relationship between the thoughts of fear and how they show up as in our lives as experiences. Appearing as if someone or something is against us. So here are some ideas that can get us past this fear. Fear of rejection, really the fear of almost anything. Know that we are created in the image and in the likeness of God. We do have the courage to face our fears. Listen to our own feelings of fear, because very often they bring us the answers that we're looking for. And be open for the lesson that comes with everything. Do you ever think, oh, I don't think I want another lesson today? But they just keep rolling in. Start to notice when you speak, when we speak these words out loud or to ourselves. You make me feel. Have we uttered those? Because really, this is the beginning of taking responsibility for how we feel when we realize that we're issuing those words. You make me feel. No, no, honey bunch. I make me feel. I was surprised to learn that stuttering could also become my comfort zone. I used it as an excuse not to attend university, as I said. I didn't speak what was on my mind a lot of times. I certainly wasn't that excited about meeting new people. So I invite you to look, is there a negative in your life that has also become your comfort zone? Is there a fear in your life that has also become your comfort zone? And giving this up can feel like giving up a bad relationship. Why? Because we know what the relationship is like, even if we don't like it. And we stay there because it's what we know. A lot of times it feels safe. There's that word. The fear of the unknown, what might be expected of us, is greater than the bad relationship or the bad experience that we're having. There's a little story about facing the fear of rejection or anything. I like stories. When I was much younger, that's almost any day. Ah, dear. When I was much, much younger, I was skiing on a hill up in Collingwood that I had never skied on before. I can still see it. And when I went up on the lift, I looked over. I thought, oh my God, there are so many moguls. Does everybody know what a mogul is? There are hills that you have in that hill to go down. So anyway, I was just standing at the top of the hill. I can still see it with my poles in the stove, thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to take off my skis and walk down? Don't think I can do this. And then anyway, a friend of mine, he pulled up beside me. His name was Paul. And he said, what's wrong? I said, oh, moguls. He said, okay, how about saying this? Moguls are my friends. Oh, moguls are my friends. Moguls are my friend. However, I thought, okay, we'll try it. So all the way down, moguls are my friends. Moguls are, And when I arrived safely at the bottom of the hill, I realized I actually enjoyed that. But I also realized in that moment standing there that I could also say this about stuttering. Stuttering is my friend. And what a life-changing switch that was. And notice that I don't call stuttering my stuttering. When I worked at the Conservation Authority, I spoke to the general manager's secretary, and I was talking about my stuttering, and she said, you want to own it, do you? I have never called it my stuttering since then, so I would invite you to be aware of what you are calling my headaches, my illness, my whatever. Just another little thing. There were so many new beginnings as I was starting to understand what a large part fear was playing in my life. And as I released this fear, then the love that is always there, moved in. One moment, one day at a time. What happened? I began to listen to my heart instead of my head. You see, love isn't something that we have to search for ever. It's here all the time, just waiting for you and I to accept it, to say yes to what it is offering. Revealing Word, our metaphysical dictionary, says that love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. It insists that all is good, and by refusing to see anything but the good, it causes that quality finally to appear uppermost in itself and in all things. And we stay in the vibration of love. How? By loving. The more love we give, the more love we actually attract. Here are words from a song written by a friend who I met through my work in the prison system. I've worked in the prison system for 25 years. Here are words he wrote when he was incarcerated. Loving is what we're born to do, learning to love everyone, no matter who, while laughing at our humanity and linking with each other to create harmony. We create the possibility of living in peace and unity by learning to love no matter who. And loving is what we are born to do. Here's a story about Joseph Charles. I just love this. Joseph Charles in San Francisco stood in front of his house every day, wearing white gloves, a big smile on his face, waving at the traffic that went past. Hundreds of people drove miles out of their way every day just to see that, just to experience that, just to receive that. A small thing to do, and yet making such a difference. He did this for over 26 years. Every morning, sharing his smiles and his love with everyone. He died at 91 years old back in 2002. When we open our hearts and minds, we never know what's going to show up. We never know what's around the corner, let me tell you. Ministry was the last thing on my mind. I was attending Unity Church in Hamilton, and Jane, I don't know if anybody knows Jane. Anyway, she was my minister. And one night, her and I went out for dinner, and I'd been taking, SCE courses on. No, we didn't do things online then. We did them in person. But because of the Unity courses I'd taken, she kept suggesting that ministry might be in my future. I was 65 years old at the time, and I kept telling her, I'm too old. Then that night, she asked me what I was going to do with the rest of my life. Oh, I can still see her and hear it. And I thought, oh my God, she got me. Because I knew that was the question that I needed to hear, the question that took me out of the fear place and put me into the love place. I was ordained when I was 68 years old. So never look at your future and think you know what the heck is going on. I believe that the journey from fear to love is a required trip. I thoroughly believe that it always brings lessons with it. Lessons that continue to encourage you and I to say yes to the love that is always here, to the love that we always are. I don't know if you know Daniel Nahmon's song, Love is My Decision. I'm inviting you and I to always make it ours. I've written a book, Beyond the Fear of Stuttering, My Journey to Self-Acceptance and to Freedom. I'm still amazed at my life some days, every day. In it, there are chapters on self-esteem, on self-worth, on our thoughts, our fear, on forgiveness. It's all unity information. It is. And so whether you stutter or not, hey, the chapters are all unity teachings that have led me from this place of fear to love. So I say thank you, God, for this lesson, because it was never about stuttering. There's a chapter in the book that says it's not really about stuttering. It's what's underneath it. It's like the iceberg. It's what's underneath it. We've got a few copies for sale afterwards if you're interested or not. So I say thank you for allowing me to share today a little bit of where I come from, and just really to be here is a blessing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now are we going to pray? Meditation? Always. And so I invite you to close your eyes if this feels comfortable for you. And to just take into your heart and your mind those words of Myrtle's. Keep remembering them. Each of us has been born as a whole and a perfect child of God. I often put my hand on my heart when I think of those. And I know that in every moment of every day, the love that God is the love that each one of us is. And that no matter who is in our life, no matter what is going on in our life, that this love is always here. It's always who we are. It's not something we have to search for. It's not something that we feel we have to reach out to someone else for. But it is always who you and I are. So I invite you, just as the song says, love is my decision, to make love your decision, for me to make love my decision. And to be aware of this presence that is with us in every moment of every day, this presence that is with us no matter who we are, who we think we are. That this presence is always here when we might be in a place of fear. Not sure what the moment brings, not sure what the future brings. Let us remember that we are the love. We are the peace. We are the presence of God. I invite you to take those words into the silence. I am the presence of God in the silence. And with gratitude in our hearts, we say thank you for this truth. This truth today, this truth tomorrow, and this truth forever. And so it is. Amen.
Well, Rev Mary, thank you so much for today's lesson. And so it's been a long time since I've seen you, since you've been in Unity of London, and it's been quite a long time with the exception of once that I've been in Unity of London either. So we're really grateful for that talk today. And I know that I am always going to remember that fear is a fantasized experience that appears real. I mean, seriously, when we're feeling fear, if we can just imagine that that's just a fantasized experience that appears real, then hopefully we can let that fear go, that we can ski down those hills over those friendly moguls, that we can step up in front of a microphone and let go of fear of stuttering or a fear of talking or a fear of being seen, that we can express ourselves fully. So thank you very, very much for that wonderful talk today.
Very close to your mouth. Okay. Just a second. Let's go here.
Okay, so here's another sing-along. Thank you.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console.
So I just want to let you know that prior to the service, Lorraine and I, we were checking the mics to make sure that with that video that her voice could be heard and the video could be heard. But when you started to sing, it was Kate that we heard on Zoom. And I just want to acknowledge you, Kate. What a beautiful, soft, just a sweet, sweet voice that you have. So I really enjoyed that song. And really, as far as those of us on Zoom are concerned, you did a solo. So we thank you for that. That was really quite lovely. Okay, so right now we take a moment to thank the source of our abundance, appreciating the many who allow the supply to flow through them in the form of financial gifts, as well as sharing of their time and talents. And you know, it's interesting because with Reverend Mary's talk today, you think about tithing and giving, when sometimes you may be frightened that you don't have enough to give, that you can't give. And really that once again just acknowledges that fantasized experience that appears real, because we are prosperous folks. And so we thank those who give spontaneously or regularly, and we are grateful to all newcomers for sharing your time with us. We appreciate you and hope that you will choose to return. And now we have our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And so now we're going to sing our peace song.
You're muted, Wilda.
So wherever you are, whatever you are doing today, we are not fearful about the weather. We are enjoying it because that is all part of our life and part of our experience in living in Canada. So we bless you, and right now we'd like to have anyone who has some comments for Reverend Mary's service, what they would like to say about that.